I'm that girl who would love to be complimented and referred to as GI Jane, because that would mean that I would have a fit, buff body and would kick ass on a regular basis. That sounds fantastic, right? Who wants to be that? Everyone, right? Or not, it's a choice. So yes, of course, I have asked our teams, also have done a session about this specific event as it unfolded, of the metaphysical perspective from the spiritual perspective of actually a whole lot of the stuff. So I unpacked it with through a client, and also I did some inner work as well to fill into what was the significance, purpose, and experience that people needed to see and learn and grow from. So it's fantastic, interesting. So it's actually really curious that for a few days now, I have been pondering and thinking about the loss of hair due to someone else in the celebrity world also saying how they have struggled with losing one's hair. And so when we ask in sessions about that, the purpose, what's the lesson there? What is the body trying to say? What are our teams trying to get you to pay a focus on and attention to? And so many of us who don't understand spirituality, who go and get diagnosed by 3D egos and understandings of what's happening to our bodies, they often miss the actual messages that our guides, our spirit teams, whomever you want to call them, are trying to get our attention to focus, because we're off path, right? I don't know of anyone that is covering and struggling with a disease or an illness, or have any problems that, then the subconscious is like, oh no, they're totally on path. No, the reason why our bodies start doing those things to try and get our attention, to get our focus, this isn't the most funniest part, right? It's not funny, but when something happens to our bodies, we start panicking, and then we go and get the labels, and then we may get, the Band-Aids to put over those issues and problems. We may then become and identify deeply and introduce ourselves to strangers as, hi, I'm blah, blah, and I've got this and this and this and this condition. And, we all hold on to those labels really tightly because that defines us, and it gives us distractions from actually what the frick's going on with our bodies. Okay, so when you ask a subconscious, the high dimensional being, the counterpart of our teams, what is the purpose for this situation of alopecia, specifically, is because they are only viewing beauty as being skin deep, and that they have to really actually honor the beauty within. Very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. And so when we're so fixated on our appearances, and we are so obsessed with the exterior veneer of what we're presenting to the world, we may not be honoring and empowering or seeing the beauty within ourselves. And so when you start having things very rapidly removed from you, you start having to focus, you either become obsessive about it and only want the things that you don't have anymore, or you actually learn and grow from it and understand that the beauty comes within. And we know some fantastically beautiful people who are just, let's just go crazy and say, wicked inside. So there's that. So, I see beauty in so many people, and this is not what you would, beauty really doesn't come on the exterior at all. And we choose our bodies. We choose to look our ways that we do as we are planning our lifetimes here. And if we are off purpose, if we have fumbled and distracted ourselves and not truly honoring our inner work, then, we will start having some interesting experiences with the bodies to get our attention. And, this is when people who do honestly respect and understand spirituality and the metaphysics will be able to understand the direct messages. Our bodies are very literal. I heard one person saying that they thought that the hair loss was to understand that other people have it worse, and that there is loss in the world, and to be more humble and compassionate to others. No, No, your body doesn't do stuff to you. I was going to say shit to you. Your body doesn't do stuff to you for you to learn from other people's lessons. You have to learn your own lessons. And while we do know that there are different, financial situations for everyone out there in the world, our body would not start losing hair if we were, trying to remind ourselves to be more compassionate to those people who have lost more things than us. Doesn't make sense, does it? And also, I've heard someone else say that the loss of hair is a representation that you've lost some pride. No, I don't sign up for that, because that's not what the subconscious said, and I respect the high dimensional perspective from the subconscious through sessions, and this is also what I got. And so I remember a friend of mine who was a hairdresser who was surrounded with mirrors. And she had, not only did she have eating disorder, but she also had alopecia. And she was constantly looking at herself in the mirror. And I was reminded about that person as I was trying to think about the Amy Schumer's experience, what she publicly stated. And now, of course, the world's talking about what is appropriate as a joke and what is an appropriate reaction for someone protecting their family. And it's kind of like this, isn't it? While we can only love ourselves, also we can only protect ourselves. And so if someone's trying to enable us or disenable us, they may sort of step up and think that they need to protect us when we are capable of protecting ourselves, especially if you look like you are G.I. Jane and can kick some ass. So, there's that. It is very interesting. So we asked more about what is the world supposed to learn about this? And of course, it's great conversations, because it sort of seems that people can either, they don't want to see the bigger picture of everything. They've just got a side. Pick a team. Who are you standing up for? And, everyone's valid with their thoughts and opinions. But from the metaphysical perspective, these are the following conversations that are going to be discussed freely, and kind of, when it did actually happen, I just thought, oh gosh, really? People are already bored of the war, are they? They're getting, they're not being as distracted anymore about the war. So, okay, so our teams are giving us this new experience to play with. And so the conversations that the majority of people will be talking about is going to be understanding mental health, okay? And that people are human, if they are human, clone lives matter too, people, we're not judging. We're all learning from those experiences, right? Regardless of whether they're human or a clone or something else, right? So we're balanced, we don't judge. So mental health and how people have limits. And while we all sort of know that violence is never the answer, especially so publicly, well, anytime, right? Violence doesn't solve anything, actually. It kind of just devolves humanity once again back into the dark ages, where we sort of, have slowly dragged ourselves out of the caves. So there is that. So it just kind of feels like, once again, we've been shown that our influences and potentially our, for those people who haven't fully woken up to all the agendas and crimes against humanity, may still be quite surprised and shocked, because they have respected, these people for the roles that they play, to, show people that regardless of how much money you make and how much influence you have, you can still be very human and make mistakes and be very reactionary, and then not be able to truly apologize, but to be able to defend and justify because you're defending your family. Interesting choices. So there is that. So then it's interesting how when we love this, don't we? If you remember the conversation and the information that we had with Archangel Lucifer, and we asked why did there need to be, why is there the devil? What's going on there? And is there someone that's truly is the devil? And, he sort of said, no, it's a man-made construct, isn't it? Because it was a really good get out of jail free card, a great excuse. Oh, I didn't want to have an affair with my wife. The devil made me do it. And so you sort of blame the devil. It's not me. I'm a victim to the devil. And so it's very interesting when people try to make excuses and justifications because, they've got a calling from God, and then, and potentially they've been attacked by the devil. Okay. And an honest, true, strong man would actually be able to admit exactly what he did. Like anyone, right? If you're truly sorry about something, you could honestly be able to acknowledge what you did and apologize for it. Because when you sort of waffle on, oh, I'm kind of sorry about that time that I was kind of I did that thing. Like, it doesn't really sound like an apology, feel like an apology, or is an apology, because it's not. So there's that. So it's very interesting what is going on there for the teams. From the team's perspective, of course, they said, well, they're all actors. And how they've always said that, this life is just a play. We're all playing our roles. And so, very metaphorically, they are just actors as well as truly being actors. So, take that as, quite literal, isn't it? So what are we to learn from this? Great conversations. It's quite a nice thing, isn't it, to have a little bit of drama that isn't going to kill us. So, I think lots of people have been very overwhelmed with the thought of, World War III and certain events coming, or, these big natural disasters that are really ramping up now all around the world. And so you have some sort of gossip that's lighthearted to be able to have a conversation about how is it appropriate to support people. And is a joke really a joke? We know that many people who are super insecure and really kind of don't want to come out and brutally bitch slap you with their opinions of you, but they will sort of like dress it up as a joke and be like, I was just joking. I find those people really dishonest, because they're not joking. They're trying to get away with as much abuse and horrible statements and accusations as possible, and when they get caught out on it, it was just a joke all along. So yeah, there is that really basic behavior. So, this is where, we just keep getting quite surprised of just how basic humanity is still in its evolution. And of course, our spiritual teams really would love us to be able to step up and to see things from the bigger perspective and to have different choices. But we all have to experience these things and grow from them together as a collective. So, who is the bad guy in that scene, right? Is it Will Smith, or is it the every time I see Chris Rock, every time I hear Chris Rock, I don't see him as a man. I see him as a cartoon character from Madagascar. And so, that's just my trauma from being a parent with little children. And so there's that. So, it is interesting. There is no good or bad here. It's all experiences, and, it had to play out the way it did, obviously. Was it a distraction for something else and other disclosures that should have been more paid attention to? Was it a distraction for other really powerful and significant movies and awards and significant things that actually did take place that got distracted as well? So, it's always hard to sort of know the true agenda for these things when it can be really multi-layered experiences and lessons for everyone to grow from. So what I take away from it may not be what you take away from it, and that's perfect for both of us. And that is exactly what our teams are wanting us to have with these experiences. So are we able to work through our own journey to understand how to put this into place and to have full acceptance? No judging. There's no point in judging people at the moment. It is just about just observing their choices, their behaviors, and where do we feel with this? Do we feel that sort of roasting people is kind of done with? It's not empowering people. It's not really humor, and it feels like it's kind of that that fake, oh, you're roasting me now publicly on TV in front of my peers. fantastic times, but it doesn't seem like it's very genuine, and it sort of feels like it's sort of unnecessary. We don't need to pick holes at people, just for the fun of it, and for humor, because, I mean, while our teams love us to raise our vibrations and they say humor is hilariously great to raise our vibrations, sometimes when we're trying to seek for humor, it actually is kind of dark humor. It actually doesn't densify us, and it doesn't empower us or empower others. And, we need to really be mindful of what we're exposing ourselves to and what we're accepting. What are we accepting from each other's, and what are we accepting from ourselves? So it's all fully about really not distracting ourselves with anything else, and really truly doing that homework that they've asked us to do, which is ask, what's the lessons here? Identify the experience. What's the range of emotions I'm supposed to go through to be able to unpack it, to be able to process it, to find the neutral and balance, and learn and grow from it? Because if we just sort of think, oh God, TV, who watches the TV? I mean, I don't watch the TV, right? But I did see it starting to come up on the internet about the awards show, and the controversy there was very aggressive, and it was quite sort of shocking, very triggering. I think anyone that hasn't overcome abusive father issues beforehand may be triggered into overcoming that now. So, again, very purposeful. Someone who hasn't, done some of their daddy issue work may have been triggered into that as well. So, gosh, the lessons are forever, aren't they? And the layers of experiences and purposes are really profound. So enjoy every opportunity to have a new experience, to be able to work out where is your neutral, work out where is your moral compass, and support other people who are super determined to make someone the bad guy, and super determined to make victims out of each other, and all that sort of stuff. It's very human to do so. But we're kind of wanting to be better than human right now, aren't we? We're kind of wanting to really step up humanity as we're getting closer to evolving. So this is a great opportunity for us to all learn together. And, I really appreciate all the opportunities that we get given together. So there's that. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I hope that you did get to find your balance and neutral with it, because there's great lessons there. And, let's look forward to the next big thing that comes to distract us for a little bit as we learn. So I guess I don't really mind if we're so distracted with our other lives and focusing on, our 9-to-5 jobs and our routines and, distracting ourselves. We have to have these certain events for those lessons. So super purposeful. I just feel like they want to just drum in again and again and again, lessons, purposeful experiences, growth. It's a really big one, isn't it? Super important. So well done, my friends, for growing and being on this fantastic experience as we explore the 3D world in metaphysics.